All right, folks, on today's episode, I'm going to be honest with you in today's episode. And, that's actually going to be the name of the episode. But I'm going to come out, frankly, I'm going to tell you my thoughts and my opinions on these classified documents that are, being found everywhere on Biden. From that to, is the House really going to be able to do anything to help us? So we're going to get into all that today. I'm Laoch, and this is Laoch's When the Hammer Drops. All right, so one thing I told you all that I was going to do moving into this year is I am going to be 100% straight up. Not like I wasn't before, but I'm going to be more in your face with this. And I'm going to start off, number one, with I'm going to give you my opinion on this whole House, the Republican-led House and all that stuff. Okay. Now, I know a bunch of you that listen to this or watch my episodes, you're all like, excited that the Republicans took control of the House because you feel that they're going to be able to actually do some. Folks, I'm here to tell you that everything that you're seeing right now is nothing but a huge fucking smokescreen. Okay. And you're probably sitting back thinking like, why? Why is it a smokescreen? And I might be labeled as a conspiracy theorist, but in today's day and age, being labeled a conspiracy theorist actually, thank you, because everything that we thought that was going to happen, from your COVID vaccines to, the stolen elections and all that shit, actually happened. And it's being proven right now with the Twitter files release, everything. So thank you. If you want to, my haters that listen to this, I want to say thank you for listening and watching this, because even if you are my hater, because, you're just adding to, the people watching my shit. So thank you, but I mean, let's be honest here. The House in their first week, they put forth a bill to not fund the 87,000 IRS agents. Is that going to actually happen? No, it's not. And this is why because they're only a third of, a government to be able to pass anything. So they can do the bill, but then it's got to go to the Senate. And if by some freak chance it manages to get by the Democrat-led Senate, then it's going to go to Joe Biden to sign. And you think he's going to sign it? Fuck no. He's already said he's not going to sign it. He's going to veto it. Because he wants to weaponize the IRS to come after you and me to take our money. Because one of his EOs, one of his executive orders that he signed was to put forth digital currency, people. When are you guys got to start waking up here? Digital currency. You know what that is? If you have digital currency, like they want, like the central banks, they want for the central banks, and Biden is doing everything in his power to make sure it happens. That's why the dollar is crashing. That's why we have this inflation. Is to set forth this, saying that we have a solution. And that's what the Democrats are doing because, when that dollar collapses, what's left? They're going to come in with, hey, we have this. And now let me explain to you what happens when you get the digital currency. Everybody seems to think, oh, no big deal. Wrong. Because here's what's going to happen. They're going to have total control, folks. And once they have total control, you're fucked. Now, essentially, there's a pilot program that's actually happening right now. If any of my listeners know anything about the CCP in China, take a look at them. They've actually been doing this for a while. They have a social credit score, or social credit system, I should say, or whatever, which is essentially what the U.S. wants to implement with this digital currency, because that's what China does. Okay, so what's going to happen? What's happening in China right now is if you talk out against the government, and I've said this in a few of my episodes, you can talk out against the government. If they don't like what you're saying, they can shut you off. If you're spending money on something that they think that you shouldn't be spending your money on, they're going to shut it off so you can't buy it. And that's exactly what's going to be happening here. Look up these executive orders that Biden is signing. They're not putting this out there for people to see. You actually have to look it up. So if you want to know what the hell's going on in our country, go see. Biden is purposely tanking the fossil fuel market, oil. And the funny thing is, they're coming after our gas stoves. They feel like we shouldn't have gas stoves now because it's, a health hazard. I mean, AOC went off on a fucking tangent because of it. Well, I rent and I live in New York. Well, go fuck yourself, AOC. We don't fucking care where you're at. You don't want, gas. You want electric to try and cook. Now, how many of my listeners actually cook? I'm not a very good cook. the wife cooks. But I can tell you right now and I'm not a fucking idiot. I may not know how to cook that well, but I know that with an electric stove, you're not going to regulate the heat like you can with a gas stove. So therefore, your food's going to be all fucked up on an electric stove. What happens if you lose like electric, or if you lose heat for some reason? A lot of times in the past, when I was growing up, we turned on our fucking stove to stay warm sometimes. That shit happens. Now, if you don't have that, and the nice thing with the gas stove is when you actually shut off the gas stove, it cools off relatively quickly, not like an electric stove. So if you have kids, good luck. You got to keep them kids out of the kitchen for a long time so your fucking stove can cool down. With the gas stove, you don't have to do that. It relatively cools off pretty quickly. But this is the kind of shit that Joe Biden and his administration are doing. They're fucking destroying America. And I don't care. I could sit here and tell you until I'm blue in my fucking face, or another person from another podcast could do the same fucking thing. And unfortunately, a lot of you, about 90% of you, are just going to still believe whatever the fuck NBC, CBS, Bill Gates and all them motherfuckers tell you. Because you're programmed to believe them. And that's what you want to do. So, I know I kind of went off on a tangent here away from, the 87,000 IRS agents, but this is the shit that is real, man. Basically, everything that's going on in the house, everything right now is just one huge fucking smokescreen, okay? And you're probably like, well, why would it be a smokescreen? Because nothing's going to fucking happen, okay? I hate to burst your fucking bubble that you've been trying to live in this whole time, with this fucking Q bullshit, It's just a fucking psyop. It's not Trump. And whoever still believes that it's fucking Trump behind Q, dude, go get your fucking head checked. Because if shit was going to actually happen, it would have already happened. And what a psyop is wanting you to believe that this is going to happen in this time. Well, it doesn't happen. Well, it's going to happen because this stuff's happening. Stop believing that shit, because that's what's fucking everything up. Sorry. Let me grab a drink real quick, folks. So with that being said, your 87,000 IRS agents will not be defunded. The IRS will not be taken away. And the reason why I say that, again, the House is only a third of it. You have a Democratic-led Senate, and you have a Democratic president. So nothing is going to happen. 100%, to be 100% honest with you, jack shit's going to happen. So those 87,000 IRS agents will, in fact, be going to work soon to come after me and you, the hardworking Americans, not big companies. What Joe Biden wants to tell you. They're not going to be doing that. So with that and all this other shit, that they're trying to say that they're going to do, they're going to investigate this, they're going to investigate that, and then they're going to try. I think McCarthy was talking about overturning Trump's impeachment. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but if the House can do that, hey, great. But we're going to learn that the J6 committee was a fucking sham. We're going to learn that Nancy Pelosi was behind a lot of the January 6th shit. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. Or are we? Again, smoke screens. Everything they're throwing at you is a bunch of smoke screens right now. And you got to try to peel back sorry about that. You got to try to weave your way through the smoke to see what the fuck is going on. Now I don't even know what the fuck's going on. It's fucking messed up, really. That's the best way I can describe it. And then that brings me to Biden and 5 spots that they found classified documents. They found it in his home in, I believe, Wilmington, Delaware. And one of his think tanks, which was, and where his think tank was in Philly, was heavily funded by the CCP. And guess who had access to it? The CCP had access probably to that area. And I guarantee Hunter Biden as well. Because in that location, not only did they have documents on China, but they had documents on Ukraine and Russia. All this stuff coming from, and I believe Iran. So all this stuff coming from the Obama era. My question is Since when can a vice president have classified documents? So, one, that's treasonous in my eyes. You have classified documents that you're not supposed to have, and you lie about them. I think what's the best thing about this whole thing is he went on a tangent in September about Trump having classified documents when Trump was where he had his documents. One, he declassified it. Two, it was at Mar-a-Lago, where not only was the Secret Service watching the video cameras, but the security for the Mar-a-Lago was watching the security cameras, and it was behind locked doors. Where Biden's was just in a box in a locked closet for one, and then, let's not forget about the house where they found it in multiple spots, in the garage next to his Corvette, and then guess who was renting that house for $50,000 a month? Good old Hunter was renting the house when there was classified documents there. So that tells me that he had access to them. He saw them, and I guarantee you, more people saw it, and it's funny how all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, because they knew about these documents back in November 2nd, which knowing about the documents November 2nd, and then they don't tell us because they know it's going to have an impact on our election. And I mentioned this in a previous episode. It would have had a major impact on the election, and they know this. So that's why they withheld the information for 2 fucking months. So in my opinion, Merrick Garland, you need to be held responsible and accountable for, hiding information along with the White House administration. Joe Biden should not get away. Well, and he's not going to get away with it because I'm going to be honest with you here again. This is just a ploy to set up Joe. They're setting Joe Biden up because they don't want Joe Biden to run. They are very close to probably doing the 25th Amendment to oust him from his presidency. But then we have Kamala Harris, who, according to her, our southern borders are just fucking peachy. But, this woman throughout the 2 years has not done shit as a vice president. She has been a waste of fucking skin. That's probably why, she has slept her way to where she's at today. I wouldn't be surprised if she gave old Joe a fucking handy. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion, and I am sticking to it. I'm not a big fan of Joe Biden. I'm not a big fan of Kamala Harris. I'm not a fan of Obama. I think they're all corrupt. You got people like the Clintons and Obama and, Biden who all had classified documents. And not one FBI raid, if they were knowingly, if they're he knew he had the classified documents where they were at. Let's be honest. He knew it. He knew they were there. They didn't just get fucking lost in the move. Okay. He knew where they were and he wasn't giving them back. Whereas Trump and all the fucking idiots on the far left are going to say, well, they're completely different because Biden's cooperating and Trump was trying to hide. No, you got that fucking reverse, folks. Trump was working with who he needed to get the documents back. But again, Trump declassified everything that he had at Mar-a-Lago. And if he had something that wasn't declassified, that from him declassifying it, he willingly gave it back and was working out to give that stuff back. Whereas Biden, I don't know where that came from. Folks, you got to stop buying into believe in everything that you're seeing on the news and seeing, what Biden and all these guys are telling you, man. They're just trying to kill America. I know Kari Lake out in Arizona got fucking screwed with Katie Hobbs. That right there. Let's be honest. We all know that election was stolen. We all know Arizona, the senator election, everything was stolen in Arizona, as well as Philadelphia once again. The Philadelphia one, we didn't have a very strong candidate out there for the Republicans. Dr. Oz, I'm sorry, but you didn't put that much effort into fucking doing this to beat fucking, the Addams Family dad, whatever, Fetterman. Folks, I hate to be all doom and gloom on you, but we are in for some dark times. Nothing's going to happen in the next 2 years. And again, I've already put it out there why. The only thing that you can count on happening in the next 2 years is that, one, Biden is not going to be running for 2024. And two, I will be surprised if with this classified documents, this story just all of a sudden just appearing out of nowhere. I mean, go figure, right? That Biden, I don't think he'll be president much longer, to be honest with you. I think they're going to do the 25th Amendment. And I can see it happening within days to at least a month or so. And Biden will be gone because it's obvious he's unfit. He has so much dementia. And the guy, he just needs to go and sail off into the sunset and just go away, honestly. But the kicker is the Biden crime family ain't a goddamn thing going to happen to him. Hunter's going to walk. Joe's going to walk. None of them's going to do jail time. And why? Why would they? Because all of a sudden, and it was funny because when all this stuff started coming out, everybody was on Biden's side. Now, when you have Adam Schiff changing his tone about you from your own fucking party, you got problems. And that's exactly what he's doing. So don't expect anything crazy happening in the next 2 years. Also, go check out the executive orders that Biden has signed. There was one of them that he wants to mandate RMNA shots into everybody. And as we know with COVID, that has the RMNA, and the CDC and the FDA just launched an investigation a few days ago about, the stroke, how people are having strokes and heart attacks from getting the Pfizer shot and stuff like that. And then miraculously they came back like, oh yeah, it was unfounded. We all know that shit's causing heart attacks. We all know that's causing blood clots. We're not fucking stupid anymore. I know the left wants you to think you are, but you're not. We're not. Because I'm not vaccinated and I've had COVID twice. And here's the funny thing. If you don't go get tested for COVID, you'll never have COVID. You'll just have a regular cold. And another fun fact, the more people that are vaccinated, well, not the more people that are vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you're more likely to be sick a lot more than you are if you're not. I've known a lot of people that are vaccinated that have gotten COVID numerous times. And here I am, I've only had it twice. I work in fucking Chicago, folks. I'm around some pretty fucking places. And I've only gotten it twice. So, and I will never get it. I'll never get the shot. I'll never get the jab. I'll never inject myself with the mRNA. So Biden, go fuck yourself, guy. Because that shit ain't ever going in my body, my wife's body. I will go out in a blaze of glory before I let that shit go into mine or my wife's body or anybody in my family. But for those of you who have gotten the COVID vaccine, who've gotten, were told to either get it, lose your job, whatever, do yourself and your family a huge favor. Go see a doctor and get your heart checked. I guarantee you won't regret it. So on that note, folks, that's where I'm going to end it today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can catch all my shows on all the major podcast platforms. All you got to do is type in the search, Laoch when the hammer drops, and it'll pop up. On social media, you can search us out on all the social media at Laoch when the hammer drops as well. I'll provide the links below. So until the next time, folks, you all be good to one another.